So after World War II, things became easier for the market and for the trade, and especially for the Pouilly Fuissé appellation, because the market, and the US market especially, was in demand of good quality wines, and of course this situation created a kind of easiness in the market, and the local producers here in Bourgogne, and especially in the Pouilly Fuissé appellation, didn't see any interest in producing single vineyard, what we call climat in Bourgogne, because for them wines were selling for themselves, so there was no use to add more difficulty in their business. They were making money on it, so not complaining. But I think it's a problem of generation of mine, because these people experienced the war, so we had to wait for the second generation of people, so the children of these guys, who realized that the market or the terroir was different, and that they could express the potential of their appellation, of the Pouilly Fuissé appellation, differently. So they went back to the fundamentals and say, so we have different terroirs, so we look at what's going on in Bourgogne, but our history is pretty much the same, so we should be convinced on the identity of our terroir, so we should do more precise single vinification on small barrels like here, to express all the potential and the identity of these single vineyards. So it's a question, I think it's really a question of mind. So little by little things went into the good rule, and we had to wait from the 90s to 2009. And at this stage, I think it's even the third generation of people who really were convinced of the potential of their amazing terroir. And we went into the mind, because it's a collective project, that we could propose different Premiers Crus in our Pouilly Fuissé appellation. So it started really in 2009. And at this time, we had to make different surveys on the soils, on the subsoils, to say that this plot deserves the right to have a Premiers Crus, because on this soil we can produce something which is drastically different from the other soils, which is 20 meters far from the other one. That was a huge part of the thing. And the other part, which was very important, was the history, because you don't create a Premiers Crus, you recognize the Premiers Crus, so you get in recognition. So in order to have the recognition as a Premiers Crus status, you have to prove that you have a huge background on history on this specific plot, that you have valued, that you have vinified for itself, and that you have been able to sell it at a better price as well, because if you sell different wine at the same price, it's useless. So the economic side has to be taken into account in a part, of course, but for sure, all these components of terroir and I would say the history and of course the testing were all taken into account in order to get the Premiers Crus status. And at the end, we managed to get 22 Premiers Crus, which is not so bad. In the end, it represents nearly 24–25% of the total production of Pouilly Fuissé appellation. Of course, the things are not closed. The book is not yet finished. So there are empty pages at this book, and maybe there are, I'm sure, it's not maybe, there are other amazing terroirs that we have in Pouilly Fuissé which are still not yet proposed. So our job nowadays is to vinify them carefully and to propose them as Pouilly Fuissé plus climat, not Premiers Crus. And maybe in the next 10, 20, 40 years, we don't know, we will be able to get other 1, 2 or 3 different new Premiers Crus in this appellation. So that's to say that Pouilly Fuissé, it's a dynamic appellation, like Bourgogne is. You have an old-fashioned style of Bourgogne, a view on Bourgogne, but it's not true. Bourgogne and Pouilly Fuissé appellation are really in their age. they are with new producers, so always with a true dynamic. And we have to look at the future and to move forward in better quality, in better sense of environment as well. So all the new components will change the history of the Bourgogne appellation and of course the Pouilly Fuissé appellation.